Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is part 2 of your coloring practice. What you're going to need is you're going to need the second side of your paper, and you'll need some colored pencils. Now, we're going to go over ways that you can mix some colors, okay? So before in the first videos, we talked about how you can mix different colors, tertiaries, and stuff like that, okay? Now we're going to do tints and shades. All right, so what I need you to find is actually one color, okay? And I need you to add black and white. So let's find those. So I'm going to pick white. Let's find black. We have black. And let's do green. Sounds like a plan. Okay, so we're going to start off with this color right here. Okay, so why does it say hue? So you ever go by a different name when, so growing up, I had an aunt who always liked to call me a different, name. So my name is Sarah, and she would call me Sahara. Don't know why. She liked it. So I answered to it. So imagine that color got a new name. It goes by hue. So if you ever hear someone say, oh, what's the hue? It's a different name. It's called color. So we're going to start off by taking your color, whatever color you've got. If you've got green, great. If you don't, it's fine. Doesn't really matter to me. And you're going to color in that center spot. Okay? Now we're going to change it a little bit. All right? So we're going to go darker. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the black. Now, black is a color that can overtake a color very easily, okay? When we have paint, I suggest to add black a little bit at a time to get darker, okay? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start off with a lot of dark, a lot of black, and you're going to see how that changes the color. Okay, I'm going to put that in first. All right. And then we're going to get a little lighter, very light here. Right. Just like a hint of it. So when we add black, it's basically we're making it a shade, okay? Easiest way to remember between shade and tint, okay? When we put a shade down on the on our curtains, okay, it darkens the space, all right? So shade down. Tint. Unfortunately, tint is a funny one. My thing is I always remember tint because if someone goes up and says, I love your tinted windows, you should be like, oh no, I didn't get tinted windows. I got shaded windows, okay, because they're really dark. So I always kind of fun with that, okay? So shade, so we add dark. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over, and I'm going to go in a slightly different direction than my original coloring, okay? And it's going to mix and make a darker shade. Okay, see that compared to the original one, it is definitely darker. Let's go to the next one. And compared to the other two, this one's going to be definitely darker. And yes, I'm going in a different angle because I really want the colors to mix very nicely. Sometimes if you go up and down, they don't tend to mix, but if you change it up a little bit, they do. All right. Please make sure that you're coloring them in nicely. Now the white is a little different, all right? So the white, you have to kind of do a little pressure with this. So I'm saying, yes, I know it sounds weird, but I'm going to have you color in the space with white first. You're like, why are we doing that? Well, it's actually adding in some of that wax on there, and it will be helpful for later. Okay. So we're going to put that white down, all right? Now, we're going to use a little bit of a pressure, and we're going to come back with white. So here, we're going to press see how we kind of did with this too? We're just going to kind of repeat the pressure in a way. So this one is going to press a little bit harder. So it's going to be a bit deeper. Okay. And we're going to take that white and we're going to mix on top of it. Really smush that all together. The last one, we're going to get even lighter. Okay. Really light. Almost like this, but it's backwards. When we tint, we add white. So we got that really light. Go back over the white. And we're going to press. I definitely, you can see probably like, oh, definitely squeezing this pencil to really lighten that up. Beautiful. Okay. So we have a nice range of colors that we can make. Okay. All right. So now let's get to a little bit more fun. We're going to do the handles first. Okay. So pick a color. Doesn't matter. You want to go with brown. I'm going to get a little wild and I'm going to do brown. I'm going to do this one. It's I don't know. It looks like rabbit. Okay. And we're going to do a little bit of blending, okay? The first thing we're going to do is actually, remember that good old-fashioned gradation? Oh, everyone loves gradation. That's when that dark to light goes. Okay, we fade out. So what we're going to do is we're going to start dark, press very heavy, and then you're going to slowly get lighter as you go down the brush, okay? And we're going to do this for every brush, dark to light. And yes, you need to have good control over your art material. That means you need to fill in all that white space, okay? Not making it sloppy. Dark to light. That made your life a lot easier by making thick lines. So, if you go over into the outline, that's fine. Okay, get lighter, 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 lighter. All right, so we've got the gradation. Next, we're going to paint the paintbrushes, okay? But we're going to make them blend. We're going to go from one color to the next. So pick two colors. When you're looking at the color wheel on my above my door, okay, you want to get neighbors, all right? So I would consider these a family, okay, because they all have they're in the same house, all green, okay? But when we have other colors next to each other, like on the color wheel, I call them neighbors, okay? So we need neighbors because they're right next to each other. Let's do the blue and green, okay? These are neighbors, but if I had different colors of green, they would be like in the family, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do this, but we're going to do it from two different directions because we want one to blend to the other, all right? So we're going to start off one side, and then we're going to drag it out across to be light. Take the other one, start on this side, and you're going to drag it through the other one. So what happens is in this area right here, they're almost like they're blending like this, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do this a couple times. If you want to change up the colors because you're like, I would really like to see what it looks like with all these different colors, go for it. All right, so let's take that time and let's go ahead and do it. Remember, fill in all of that space. Now, the reason we're picking colors that are neighbors is because we know that they're going to mix nicely together, okay? Because if you have opposite colors, fortunately, you're going to get brown in the middle, unless that's what you want. I'm having a little fun here with the screen. Last one. Well, hopefully it's the last one for you. If it's not, pause the video. All right, so we've got blending. So we've got gradation. It's where it just kind of blends out on its own. We have blending one color into the other. Okay, the last one we have is how to blend with curved edges. Okay, so I do this a couple of ways. So what I tend to do is I take one color, I'll color it in all here, okay? And I'll take another color and I go around the edge and I fade it out into the center. So we have one color goes into the other. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, I know. So I'm going to take the other one, color it in. Take the outside, and it's going to fade in. So basically what's happening is I'm going to show you what it looks like here. Is like that. So it's darker on the outside and gets lighter on the inside. Now, you want to make sure that it kind of blends in so it doesn't look like it's a circle of green and then it just, goes straight over. You can do it that way, and then you could go in with the blue and add it in as well afterwards. Okay. Oh, let's put this other way. Let's do green on the inside. And do nice light green. And I'll put blue on the outside. I'll do the other way. Start with dark on the outside and lighten it. And I'll put green in. All right, ladies and gentlemen. If for some reason you have struggled in any of the parts here, okay, I would highly suggest you practice a little bit more on the sides, okay, because your project is going to be involving you doing these blending, all right, from one to the other. We're trying to stay away from this whole idea that it looks like this, okay. That's not blending. Okay. So if you found that some of these look exactly like this, you might want to practice a little bit more. Find little areas, and just practice around. I'm not going to, let me tell you, if you have a whole bunch of spots, okay, and you're like, it just took me a longer time to get it, that's fine. Okay. And some people just get it right off the bat. All right. Okay. So once you're done with this, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you go and hand this in. And that's it. Great practice.